Modern medicine has provided the world with some amazing, even miraculous cures. But sometimes, when modern medicine fails, other unexplainable forces can provide the key to survival. And when that happens, even doctors start talking about miracles. After hiking for over 10 miles along a rugged Appalachian trail, Bill Owen was exhausted.
You all right?
At 41 years of age, a little fatigue was to be expected, but this was something else.
My breathing became labored, my back was tired, I was having to stop and take breaks. It got to the point where I didn't even want to put my backpack back on.
It was June of 1991. Bill and his son Scott had looked forward to their camping trip for months, but now it was apparent that they had to turn back.
Just let me get you a... Do you have a fever?
I don't know. Just kind of feel achy all over. Maybe it's the flu or something.
With the high fever and the fatigue, it felt like I had a severe case of the flu. And it was clear that I was getting more and more ill, and to continue for another 3 or 4 days just didn't seem to be a very practical option for us.
The Owens returned home to Orlando, Florida, where Bill's health continued to deteriorate. His wife, Lynn, was becoming increasingly concerned.
Miss your eyes.
He was just very lethargic. He couldn't move. Whites of his eyes were yellow. His skin was kind of a funny color. I thought he probably had hepatitis at the time.
Lynn called their family doctor and arranged for an appointment that afternoon.
Hi, this is Lynn Owen, and my husband, he's pretty bad off. I need to bring him in right away. Thank you.
The physician sent Bill directly to the hospital. His liver was failing, and no one knew exactly why.
As long as you're here, I'm okay.
I'm gonna take good care of you.
They didn't know what was going on. The doctors and the nurses, no one really knew.
When Lynn visited her husband the next morning, she was shocked by what she found.
How are you?
You here to take more blood?
He was sitting up like he was a normal person, just sitting on the bed, and he looked at me and did not even recognize me.
Who are you?
I'm gonna go get the doctor.
Later that day, Bill lapsed into a coma. As the days passed, Lynn watched as his condition grew steadily worse.
They called in a specialist, and he was totally baffled.
We can't determine the cause. Because of that, we don't know how to treat it.
He said he didn't know why it was happening. There was nothing that they could do, that he had a 25% chance to live. I couldn't believe that he could go from the good physical condition that he was in to lying in a hospital bed on life support within a week's time. All I remember are the sounds of all the machines, the beeping, the heart rate, the ventilator breathing for him, breathing out and then breathing in. And I was very, very scared because we'd been married a long time and I couldn't imagine my life without him.
Bill's only hope for survival was a liver transplant. Luckily, a team of specialists at the University of Florida's Shands Hospital agreed to take on his case.
Even though it was just a little bit of hope, it was still a little bit of hope. So we were very excited about that.
On the morning Bill was to be transferred, family and friends gathered around his bed. Paul Jackson, a deacon from his church, remembers the atmosphere in the room.
Total doom and gloom. They were all in tears, not knowing what to expect or expecting the worst, and totally at a loss.
Everyone in the room laid their hands on Bill as Deacon Jackson led them through the healing ritual of the Episcopal Book of Common Prayer.
O Father of mercies and God of all comfort, our only help in time of need.
Whatever his problems might have been, we prayed for that he would be totally healed and restored to that perfect health. It wasn't a matter of him just rising up. It wasn't that at all. But we pray for that, and in God's time, if it's his will, it will happen.
In addition to the healing ritual, Episcopal churches around the world were contacted and asked to pray for Bill's recovery.
There were many, many people praying for Bill. And it was a load off my shoulders in a way because it was in God's hands at that point.
Still comatose, Bill was airlifted to Shands Hospital, where he was subjected to a battery of tests. The results were not what had been expected.
So they met with us and said that they had run all the tests and his liver was showing signs of working.
As the days passed, Bill's liver continued to improve. He no longer needed a transplant, and yet he remained in a coma.
My son was standing right at his head, and he was leaning over and he goes,
Dad. Dad. Mom.
and so all of a sudden Bill opens his eyes, and it was a miracle. Oh, we were just hugging each other and we were crying and laughing and just so happy because he was going to be okay.
You're awake. You heard him, didn't you?
The doctors at Shands Hospital called me the Miracle Man because I was so sick and so far gone when I was admitted there that many of them didn't think they would see me awake again.
A few weeks later, Bill walked out of the hospital totally recovered. Both he and his wife believe that what happened to him was nothing less than a miracle.
I believe that the healing ritual that was performed for Bill, that's what caused the liver to come back.
To me, a miracle is something that can only be explained by the intervention of a greater power in your life like God. It's something that nobody knows why it happened, but it obviously did.
Dad. Mom.
I think the fact that I'm here today is living proof. My healing was miraculous. There's no other way to explain it.
It's been 8 years since Bill Owen's miraculous recovery. We thought we should check up on him and see how he's doing. So he and his wife, Lynn, join us now from their home in Orlando, Florida. Hello there.
Hi, Richard.
So, Bill, how are you feeling?
I've been feeling really good. I've been very fortunate to have a complete recovery of my health. I've still participated in my favorite outdoor activities, backpacking, canoeing. I've even taken up marathoning and run several marathons in the last couple of years.
Incredible. Sounds like you're in better shape than ever. Lynn, would you agree that he's a better man today than he was before?
I would say he is. He's much more caring and sensitive. He lives life to the fullest every day. So I would definitely say yes.
This is for both of you. What do you think is the most valuable lesson you've learned from this experience?
Well, the thing that impressed me the most, Richard, was the people that cared for me, that prayed for me. There were hundreds of them around the world, from monasteries in Oklahoma to churches all over Florida and missions in Africa. And I still don't know why they were all motivated to do it, but I sure am thankful, because without that, I don't think I would be here today.
Lynn?
I definitely agree with him. I want to thank everyone that prayed for him, because I do believe that that's one of the reasons he's here with us today also.
I want to thank you both for sharing your story and for taking time out to be with us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.